this is everything we picked up at the weekend, including this mystery bag. And that's where the good stuff's really at. But first, I'm going to talk through the basics. So, 2 car boots. And to be honest, I only picked up one thing from the other car boot. So, I'll start off with the second car boot, where I picked up this Fighting Furies action figure. I paid £5 for it. And they had about 6 or 7 of these, but this one here was the only one that I didn't recognise. It was not coming up on Google search. And the thing to remember with these sort of toys, normally if you can't find it, it's a pretty good sign that it's quite rare. So took a gamble on that, and I left all the others behind. So these are like Fighting Fury figures. So they're from the 60s. I don't think that hat belongs to it. So they're articulated figures, and they're basically a bit of a knockoff of the Lone Ranger. So yes. So let's move on to the main car boot now. Where do I start? Start off from this side. So here, we've got out-of-date inks. These are always a no-brainer, because it's only 2020. We've got, which is always a good thing to have, we've got the black colour and what you call the multicolour. So these basically, I'll get about 15 quid back on that. And I paid £1 whole for those two. Paid £3 for these big bundle of books. They're all sing-alongs, missing the tapes. They normally go for about £5 each, but I'm going to bundle them up. And the reason why I brought this, as we can see, we've got Get Along Gang here, is because there's quite a lot of old, really old, early 1980s books. Loads of Sylvanian. And there's probably about 50 quid's worth, 40 quid's worth. If you put it all into bundles, probably about 40 back. But the main reason I brought it was because there was a load of Care Bear ones, and my partner loves Care Bears, and Wuzzles too. So she had all of them off me, and I've got all of these. As you can see, I'm not going to go through them all because there's too many. Got things like DuckTales, Chipmunks, yeah, loads there. Right, just pause 1 minute. So yeah, £3 spent there, and I reckon probably about 40 back, but it's going to be a hard sell, and it's going to be a long sell. So moving on to this, which is really cool. I love picking Britons up. So this is a Britain's car. These are quite hard to get, these oil tankers, and this one here goes through about, if it's in really good condition, about 40 to 50. As you can see, I've got a little bit of peeling going on the sticker, so I've dropped this one down to 30. I don't think I'll have any trouble selling that. Got this camera here. It was just a gamble. I think I paid 2 quid for it. Bit of a fail. It's only worth £10, so we won't talk about that too much longer. And these games, they're all £1 each. So Grand Theft Auto 5, it's all complete with 2 CDs, because you're always missing a CD on this. That is the problem you always have with this. It's always missing the play disc. It's got the maps. That'll go for about £5 to £7. This game, now back in the days of when I was first doing car boot, 2010, this game was about a £15 to £20 game. Now it's only worth about a £5, so that was £1. And this was £1. Look out for this one. It's Zoo Tycoon, but it's the complete collection. These go for about a tenner, so they have dropped off a little bit in value. Moving on to more games. So we've got this one here, Hello Neighbour. That cost £1. I don't know what it's worth, to be honest. If I'm going to be honest, video games are not really my interest or my forte. Paid £5 for these two, Sonic Racing and Super Mario 2. Now, I don't think there's great money in these, probably about £8 each, so it's not really a fail because my daughters will play these. So I always get games like this because if I don't sell them, they'll use them. This is very good. It's a Littlest Pet Shop, and they're making a comeback. And this is kind of like a rip-off of the Tamagotchi. So I don't know if you know a lot about Tamagotchis, but they're worth a lot of money. Now, these LPS handhelds are only going for about 10 to 15 a few years ago, but now they're going for about 30 to 40. So prices are really shooting up on these. So look out for these. Got to test it first, of course. See if it works. Paid £1 for this Pokemon thing because, well, it's Pokemon. So there's only about £10 return on that. What have we got around here? Paid £1 on this camcorder. Very interesting because it's got the wrong battery in it. So that battery on its own is probably worth about 15 quid if it works. The Sony battery. And the camcorder there, spares and repairs, probably about 10 to 15. So what have we got here? I think I paid £1 for a load of figures. There's another one somewhere, a wrestling one. So insignificant that you're not missing out on much. I think it's Sergeant Slaughter, actually. So this one here is worth about £7. The Harry Potter one is worth about £7. These were fetching a lot of money about 4 years ago, but now they've dropped off. So I paid £1 for a load of cars too, a bundle. Now there was a GoBot here with these. I think it's in that bag. So they're all just like Lightning McQueen and a few Hot Wheels ones. Not great money there. This one's probably worth the most. It's probably worth about £8 to £10. So yep. We're moving on from that, and I bought a load of these figures here. Paid £3 for the Imaginext. He has got his accessory somewhere, but it's fallen out in the bag. So that's the reason why I got them, was because they got accessories. So he's about 10 of his accessory. He's about 10, and the others I don't know. I just picked them up just for the sake of it. Paid £1 on this Britain's tractor. As you can see, it's really beat up. I just love Britain's stuff. Snapped on the side there. I don't think I'll even be able to sell that, but I might keep that for myself. See if we can get a seat for it, get it all fixed up. And I paid £3 for these Lacoste slip-ons. Now I thought these would be worth a lot more than they actually are, because they sell 50 quid brand new. But on the second-hand market, you're only looking at about 15 returns, so that was disappointing. Anyway, moving on. So these are pretty good. There was a few pairs of them. Unfortunately, there's a few stains on this one, so I knocked him down to 4 quid. But they are, I don't know if you can see it, Stefan Janoski. So these night trainers by Stefan Janoski, they do fetch good money. You're looking at about 60 quid. Now I think because of the condition on these, and I paid about 4, I'm probably going to be looking at about 30 return, unless I can clean them up. But still, £4 into 30, that is pretty decent. So now we're coming to this. Now this is the buy of the weekend. So I'm going to show you. Okay, so I've had to break this down into stages because there's just literally so much stuff. And it's all going to look like junk to start off with, but there was a house clearance guy and he had just got really good rummage boxes, and I had a great time actually going through them. I'm going to show you the rest of the stuff because it's all toys, but first of all, got these really cool 1990s like kids Liverpool mitre shin pads, and these, come on guys, don't you remember these? These are like the sweatbands. I had one of these as a kid because I was a big Liverpool fan. If you don't like Liverpool, you got Chelsea and of course England. So we got a dusty bin. I paid £8 literally, and I got a bag full of stuff from this guy. It's insane. Obviously there's loads of cards here. These ones are all in a little bit scruffy condition. I got this pile here, which isn't too bad, and they're all like 1989 stickers. Now I've got another bundle of these that I've put up too. I'm not sure what I've done with them, but anyway, because I was sorting through them all earlier. But these stickers, I've seen some of them sell for like nearly 200 quid. But it was a bit more of a bigger bundle of that for 1989 stickers. So I reckon about 15 to 20. I'll probably get on these with the other bundle I've got too. But yeah, that was pretty good. I don't know the value of any of these. I think Dusty Bin's going to be about a tenner. So yeah, let's move on to the toys now. So we've got this beautiful Action Man poster here, and if you turn it over, you can see on the other side were all the toys that you could like order, like, you know, from the 1960s. I think there's some pretty decent lines. Do you know, I absolutely love this. I don't know if I'm going to sell it, if I'm going to be honest. My big problem with retro toys is I love retro toys, so get a bit carried away. But underneath it, this looks like junk, doesn't it? Well, this is where you need to listen up, because a lot of these are all spare parts, yeah, off old toys. Some of these parts can fetch up to £10 to £15 each. So this is why they're really worth picking up. So I'm going to go through them all. It's going to take a while. So first of all, we're finding these silver bits, so they're off Transformers. Just to analyse the Transformer bits here. So these are 2 bits that belong to Megatron's gun. They're worth £15, they are. I don't know if you can see. And we've got rockets here that belong, they're all Generation 1 Transformers. And they go for, I'm going to say £5 each. Some of them are like 5, some of them are 7. Let's just say they're £5 each. So there's 30 quid's worth just there. It's crazy, isn't it? And that's 45 quid. We haven't even got into the depth of it yet. So we're going to move on to Action Man now. This is all Action Man type stuff. So it's not all Action Man. So for example, this bag here is from the Lone Ranger. Needs a bit of a clean. That'll be worth a tenner. Unfortunately, one of the hooks has snapped. So, and it's a case of whether I can clean it up. So I'm not going to count that one just yet. And of course, we've got these Steve Austin $6 Million Man. These shoes as a set normally go for about £20. I'm going to try and see if I can sell this as a single for $8.99, which is good. So that's $8.99. Well, same with this hand. This is an Action Man hard plastic hand from the Generation 1 Action Man. And hopefully it's a little bit loose, that's what's letting it down. I should be able to get about 8 back on that, so that's about 16. And a lot of this will just go in a big Action Man bundle for about a tenner, with the exception of certain things, because this gun here, I need to do a bit more research on it. That might not go in the bundle. I'm hoping that might get a little bit more money. Don't know anything about that. If you do, comment in the video. Sadly, that would have been worth a bit. It's the it's what the sword's going to, for the military soldier. Can't pick up what they're called now. And obviously this gun here would have been a decent one, but it's snapped at the end. This here, this gun stock, this should go for about £10 though. Like £7 to £10. So that is really decent. The jackets are all a bit worn out and beat up. This here is from, like, I could tell it's cheap plastic. It's from a knockoff Action Man. I need to do a bit more research on that, because sometimes a knockoff Action Man stuff does quite well, but other than that, it'd be going in the £10 bundle. And I got this jacket here. I thought it was $6 Million Man, but I'm not 100% sure now. If you do know, please comment below, because this will be sold separately, and I'm hoping to get about 10 on that. So that is everything for the Action Man and similar stuff. So here we've got a little bit of everything going on. Put this fella in here too. So I'll explain this fella first, because he is from the Marks. I think it's called the Moonbase. Yeah, it's from the Moonbase set. And I've seen some of these little figures sell for really good money. So on his own, and not part of the set, I'm probably looking at about 10 on that. So that is really good. This it's Action Force. I am tempted to keep it because I'm a G.I. Joe collector, and Palitoy released Action Force about the same time. And they're kind of like, I've always seen them as like a related line, but they're not. Anyway, this is worth about £20, 15 to 20, because this is quite a difficult one to get, the US Marine version. This is a spare part from Action Force 2. I'll probably be bundling this and the other Action Force spare part, the wheel, together for about a tenner. And I'll have no trouble selling it for that much. I might put that in too, because that's Action Force related, rather G.I. Joe. So I've also got some Snowcat G.I. Joe spare parts here. These roughly going to go for about a tenner. So that's pretty decent. And I told a lie earlier because I found another Steve Austin bit. So this is part of the arm. So I've put that up for about $8.99, and to be honest, it will sell for $8.99 because I'm looking at other solds. So very good on that. Don't know what that belongs to, so that might go in a bundle. If anybody does know, then please message me. This little part here actually belongs to the Red Laser set on Action Force, a very expensive set. And I've actually gone very brave and listed it up for $25.99 because somebody's got one listed for $40 in Spain. So that is very good. Star Trek top from the Mego version. Probably looking at about $7.99 on that. So it's pretty decent condition, and you don't see it very often. No tears, no nothing like that. So yeah, that will go. These from the 18, one of the 18 sets. That was a parachute originally, and the weapon. I don't think there's a lot of money in these, to be honest. Probably about £4 or £5 tops. I think we all know that that's from Cluedo, so we don't need to look at that any further. And that is part of an Action Man, and that might also be a Mark's Moonbase set figure, so that could potentially be another tenner. So got to look into that one. So these bits down here, literally, they all belong to a Mego set, which is related to Micronauts. I don't know if you've heard of Micronauts. They were robots that were around just a little bit before Star Wars. So they were like mid-70s. Due to the oil embargo, they used to do these as quite large figures. Then they reduced the sizes rapidly to reduce on the amount of plastic that was being used. Right, so you probably don't know what these are, but these are by Mego, and they're basically like related to Micronauts. It's a set, it is, exploration set, and I think it was one of those ones you could just keep expanding on. And just for these parts alone, because I think the set is quite expensive, I've split them into 3 different lots, and it works out at... How much does it work out at, Scott? It works out at £48.99, so that's pretty decent. And I've seen a lot of these bits selling. Some of them do sell for like £10 each, so if I wanted to wait a lot longer, I could potentially get about £70 on this lot. But I'm being quite generous, so that's that one. Over here we've got a few Star Wars bits. This belongs to the Millennial Falcon, only worth £6, and this belongs to the X-Wing, and you can never find these original canopies, and they do fetch anything from £20 to £25. Because of the stickers on that, I'm probably looking at about $18.99 on mine, so very good find still. This is a Johnny West saddle for a horse. That's worth £15. It does sometimes go for a little bit less, like $12.99, so a bit brave there. This, I don't know what it is, to be honest. It's probably an accessory for an Action Jack, which we'll come to in a minute. These are Adventure People from Fisher-Price. Don't really like these, to be honest. It's only worth about £6, so I might give that to Gavin's Toy Store, because I'm donating a few bits. These old Fisher-Price figures aren't really worth a lot, but the clown, that goes for about £8, so I could bundle those two up for like $8.99. And here we've got an Action Jack. Absolutely awful figure, isn't it? That's probably going to get donated to Gavin too, as well as these things, because these are awful. So these are 1970s Weebles, very first ones. Look at the face. Aren't they hideous? So yeah, they'll probably be donated. Probably worth about £8, to be honest. These are Metoy guns. So Metoy is like the old Playmobil from the 1970s. So I think there was another name for them as well, but they're just like guns, so there's no value in them. I think that is a part to a Transformer. I'm not 100% sure. So these are pretty cool. These are Timpo, and if the British Knight was complete, he would be worth a massive £30, believe it or not. As he is, probably going to put him on for a £5. That is just a weird 1980s pencil topper. I don't know what it's worth. This is a Corgi Batman. I think it belongs to the Bat Boat. I'm not 100% sure. It's only worth about £5. And we've got Hannibal's head. I don't know how Murdoch. His head ended up in this bundle, so I don't think we could do anything with him. Evil Knievel helmet, which should fetch about £7 or £8 again. And unfortunately, that is not Britain's, so I don't know what the value is. That's just going to be trashed because it's broken. Don't know what that is. It's just a pencil topper from the 80s, and these belong to like might be a Tomy board game. So they're just like spare parts. No value there. So this is the last bundle now. Some of this stuff I don't know what it is. That is from the Mego Micronauts set again. The Exploration Centre. This is off a tank. I don't know what it's off. This is off some cheap knockoff toy. I did find it. I'm not sure what it's called. These are the Ricochet cars. They're by Palitoy, believe it or not. And if you actually get the set of the Spider-Man, it goes for about £100. But as it is, probably looking at 15 loose on that. Do not know what that belongs to. So if any of you guys know what that belongs to, that's got me beat. It's broken anyway, so. Now these, I did actually think that they were Marks to start off with, but they're actually a company called Metcalf. So I probably will turn about £10 on them, believe it or not. It would take a long while because there's not many collectors. That's not worth anything. It just belongs to a car set, Wrist Racers by Knickerbocker. This here basically is one of those 1980s Adidas things that you use to take the studs off your football boots. But you can convert it into a key ring. I'm looking into these. Now these, oh, sorry about the lighting, guys, you can't really see it. These actually are worth about 15 quid, 10 to 15 quid. Might be a long seller, but still, it's pretty decent. So that, I do not know what it belongs to. It's a bucket. If anybody does, please comment. That's probably only going to be worth a £5 in that condition. Normally these Capris do quite well. This one here, I've seen them go for 10, but they've got to be in pretty decent condition. So this again is an Action Man spare part, but it's bust. So that'll go in a bundle. The Action Man by Palitoy sailor hat, that'll go for a £5. These bikes here, I've got to look into them because sometimes these bikes, these Matchbox and Hot Wheel bikes, I'm not sure what this one is, can do very well. I'm going to estimate about £10 on the two though for now. That is not going to be sold because it's unbranded. In fact, I might keep it because I do like the American Civil War and cavalry history. This is part of a Star Wars set. I know that because it says Kenner Lucasfilm 1982. Not because I have a good knowledge on this item. I don't know what it belongs to. So if you do, please comment. Power Ranger bike, that is worthless, worth about £7. We've got what appears to be a boot. And this is Airwolf. I don't know if you remember that, but this is a very good toy. Unfortunately, it's missing its blade and it's got a snap wheel, sadly. This, if it was in good condition and not missing any parts, that would be going for £30 easy all day long. It's by Ertl and it's going up in value. I'll probably get about £8 still for that, believe it or not, even in that condition. So another spare part, don't know what it belongs to, and another spare part, don't know what it belongs to, and that's just a Lego set. So that is pretty much everything except for this. That was in the bundle earlier, I forgot to tell you about. That is just a GoBot, not really worth anything. So guys, thanks for watching, and do come back for another video very soon. Thank you and bye.